Mom's sick. Hey, is Mom okay? Did you take her to the hospital?
When Govan found out his mother was sick, he started making a fuss. Her fever's gone down. It's just a mild cold. I tried to reassure him.
Why didn't you call me? What if something happens to Mom? You didn't even take her to the hospital. You're useless. If anything happens to Mom, it's on you. Can you handle that?
He yelled at me and slammed the wall in a threatening manner. Then he said,
I'm going to Mom's,
and stormed out of the house. The time was 10 p.m. I was stunned by Govan's over-the-top mama's boy behavior. This is my story, being pushed around by such a mama's boy. My name is Monique. I'm a 32-year-old housewife. Govan and I have been married for 10 years. Our marriage has gone cold. More like Govan seems to think of me as nothing more than a maid. He used to be so kind when we first got married. Can people really change this much? But we have a 5-year-old daughter, Mia. For Mia's sake, I'm not considering divorce. I adore Mia and I can even tolerate Govan's cold behavior. Govan has a regular job, but he travels a lot for work, so he's often not home. When Govan's not around, Mia and I live happily. But when he is, it's honestly a struggle. Govan, like a sinister mother-in-law, always finds faults in me and complains, so I never feel at ease around him. Especially when it comes to cooking, I only remember being criticized. Govan loves his mother's cooking and always tells me,
when will you learn to cook like Mom? Go get lessons from her again.
Honestly, his mother's cooking is just average. Not much different from mine, yet being constantly compared and belittled is truly painful. I've come to realize that Govan is an extreme mama's boy. He still gets his ears cleaned by his mom and only wears clothes she buys. Even after marriage, he visits his mother once a week. It's that bad. At first, I was disappointed in him, but over the years, I've become numb to his strange behavior. Besides, my in-laws are genuinely good people and I love them. They treat me like their own daughter. Since I don't get along with my own parents, my in-laws are a blessing. They also dote on our granddaughter Mia. But Govan, who adores his mother, seems to dislike that his mom likes me. It's pathetic for a grown man, but he can't stand his mother's love being directed at anyone else. Whenever his mom praises me, he says,
Mom, don't spoil her. She's nothing compared to you.
And if his mom buys something for Mia or me, he gets genuinely angry. Just the other day, when Mia got a toy from her grandma, he exploded.
Don't make Mom spend money on trivial stuff. Pay her back.
Even Mia, just a child, seemed puzzled by Govan's behavior. Finally, she burst into tears, saying, Mia gave Grandma money back. What are you talking about? My mother-in-law wanted to give Mia a toy. It was her idea. I argued, but Govan wouldn't listen.
From now on, you're not allowed to accept anything from Mom. She shouldn't be spending money on you.
He fumed and stormed out of the house. Yes, Govan still takes an allowance from his mom. According to him,
I am Mom's precious son, so it's okay. My happiness should be her happiness.
I was dumbfounded, but new arguing was pointless. All I could say was, okay, if you say so. Then one day, a call came from my mother-in-law. Sorry for the sudden request. I've caught a cold. I'm craving chicken soup, but my husband can't cook. Would you mind making some for me? Of course, I'll be right over, I quickly replied. I bought the necessary ingredients and headed to my in-law's house. My mother-in-law was delighted with the chicken soup I made. This is delicious. You're a lifesaver. I feel better already. But what followed was a nightmare. When I told Govan about his mom after he got back from work, he started freaking out again.
Why didn't you call me? What if something happens to Mom? You didn't even take her to the hospital? You're useless.
He yelled. No matter how much I tried to explain it's just a cold, she's eating and has taken medicine, she'll be fine, he wouldn't listen.
I'm going to Mom's,
he declared and stormed out again. The time was 10 p.m. I was again stunned by his mama's boy antics. It was a far cry from when I was struggling with childbirth. As Govan left, I remembered the day our daughter was born. He was engrossed in a cell phone game while I was in labor, a memory I'll never forget. Even when I asked for a back rub, he did it half-heartedly, looking annoyed. The midwife seemed shocked by his attitude. Back then, he showed no concern for me, yet when it comes to his mom, he's suddenly all worried. I felt a wave of emptiness. What do I even mean to Govan? Maybe I should consider divorce. The thought crossed my mind. Months passed with these uneasy feelings. One day, Govan was away on business and I was spending a quiet day with our daughter. But something seemed off with her. She had no appetite and seemed out of it. When I took her temperature, it was 103 degrees Fahrenheit. I was preparing to rush her to the hospital when the phone rang. It was from my own mother. A call from her? It had been years. Curious, I answered the phone. Hello? Mom? What's going on? I asked. Something terrible has happened. Teddy, Teddy! Mom's panicked voice came through the phone. Calm down, what happened? Teddy collapsed suddenly and was taken to the hospital. They say he won't make it past tomorrow morning. Mom broke down crying. Okay, I'm coming right now. Stay with Dad, Mom. I hung up the phone. Although I have had a strained relationship with my parents, I'm grateful for them raising me. I wanted to be there for Dad's final moments. But Mia was running a high fever. What to do? I decided to call my mother-in-law. Leave Mia with me. I'll take her to the hospital. You go to your parents, she said, rushing me out of the door. Thanks to her, I made it in time to be with Dad in his final moments. I got a call from my mother-in-law saying Mia was much better after getting medication. I stayed at my parents' house for a few days, arranging the funeral while Mom grieved. We had a small family-only funeral and said our goodbyes to Dad. After I had finished contacting the people I had been close to and sorting out my belongings, I returned to my home. Mia was fully recovered. I thanked my in-laws profusely. Then it hit me. I hadn't told Govan about Dad. In the chaos, I had forgotten to inform him. Govan's presence in me has probably faded considerably. Govan is still on a business trip. I wondered if even Govan would offer some comforting words given the circumstances. With a glimmer of hope, I called him. The hope was quickly shattered. When I told him about Dad and Mia, he said something unbelievable.
What? Don't rely on my mom for something as trivial as a child's fever.
That was his first response. What are you talking about? My dad passed away. It was an emergency, I said, confused.
I don't care if it was an emergency, you still inconvenienced my mom.
He yelled. So what should I have done?
You should have stayed home and taken care of Mia. Your dad was beyond help anyway. You could have gone after Mia got better.
He coldly retorted. I couldn't hold back. What's wrong with being there for my dying parent? Put yourself in my shoes.
Listen, you're my wife. Your primary concern should be my parents, not yours. You're not very smart, are you?
He said, spouting nonsense again. That's it. I can't believe this. I shouldn't have married you, I said.
Fine, let's divorce then. Get out.
He yelled and hung up. I guess it was tit for tat. I never took Govan's talk of divorce seriously because he's always quick to anger. But recalling his heartless words after my dad's death, I was trembling with rage. But the next evening, I received a completed divorce application from Govan, who was still on his business trip, and it was sent via express mail, no less. I was honestly shocked. I never thought he was serious about divorcing. Then close note read,
Take Mia and move out ASAP.
I was a bit shocked at Govan's lack of affection for his own child. Many couples fight over custody during a divorce. Does he only care about his mom? On the flip side, this was convenient for me, who didn't want to lose Mia. I quickly filled out the divorce papers and rushed them to the court. I had been worried about Mia growing up without a father, but my anger towards Govan now outweighed that concern. Maybe Mia is far better off without such a father. I'll give her all the love she needs, even if it's just from me. That's how I was starting to feel. The saddest part was losing my relationship with my in-laws. I took Mia and visited them to explain the situation. I told them about the divorce and that I planned to move back to my parents' home. My parents live far away, so I don't get to see them often. My in-laws were in a mild panic. You won't see us anymore? No, that can't happen. My mother-in-law was holding back tears.
I'm really sorry for the pain our son has caused you.
My father-in-law apologized. Then, my mother-in-law offered, Why don't you both live here? We have cut ties with Govan. He won't be allowed in this house. Are you sure about cutting ties? She confessed, I have been troubled by how clingy he's been. It's a bit abnormal. Mia, do you want to live with Grandma and Grandpa? Mia seemed happy. For me, who's unemployed, it was a welcome offer. Thank you, but we can't stay forever. Can we stay until I find a job and save enough money to move? I asked my in-laws. With that settled, we moved our belongings to their house before Govan returned. He was due back the next day. That evening, my mother-in-law ordered high-end steak delivery. I was so tired and the steak was incredibly comforting. The next evening, Govan showed up.
Mom, it's me. Open up. I brought souvenirs from my trip,
he said in a sweet voice. We don't need them. I heard you got divorced. my mother-in-law responded through the intercom.
Yes, Mom, I can finally come back home. Aren't you happy?
Gavan asked, "Why would I be happy? You're a grown man. You're not welcome back here," she said angrily.
That's harsh, Mom. You're joking, right? I'm your adorable only son.
"No, I'm serious. Monique and Mia are more adorable than you," she said, cutting him off. Gavan seemed stunned by her blunt words. Seeing his reaction, I couldn't hold back my laughter anymore. After enduring Gavan's persistence, my mother-in-law finally lost her patience. "If you don't leave now, I'm calling the police," she yelled. Shocked by her stern warning, Gavan slumped his shoulders and left. Seeing Gavan rejected by my beloved mother-in-law lifted a weight off my shoulders. I felt refreshed. A few days later, an unfamiliar woman came to visit our home. She was a middle-aged lady slightly younger than my mother-in-law. She had something serious to discuss regarding Gavan. Given the circumstances, we invited her in. To our astonishment, she began to reveal something unbelievable. She was Gavan's mistress. She hadn't been able to reach him for days and was worried. Knowing only the location of his parents' home, she decided to come and inquire. When we were married, he was seeing you too?" I asked. The woman looked shocked. From her reaction, it seemed she was unaware that she was the other woman, thinking they were in a committed relationship. When she learned about our daughter Mia, she was visibly shaken. Staggering, she left our home. With this revelation, I decided to seek damages from Gavan. In exchange for not suing her, the mistress provided evidence of the affair. I contacted a lawyer I knew and had a certified mail sent to Gavan. Angry messages and calls flooded in from Gavan. But after another stern talking from my mother-in-law, he quickly transferred the settlement money. Adding insult to injury, his mistress did something incredible. She stormed into Gavan's workplace and hysterically confronted him. "You have been toying with me! You're the worst!" she apparently yelled. The mere act of a mistress showing up at work would raise eyebrows, but the fact that she was a woman of a certain age made it even more scandalous. As a result, rumors spread, and Gavan became the subject of workplace gossip. Unable to handle the pressure, he resigned. Now, he's living day to day, working part-time jobs. Rejected by his beloved family and stripped of his honor and position, Gavan had no one but himself to blame. As for me, I have found a new job and am saving money. It's my first time back in the workplace in a while and I'm loving it. Mia is also being showered with love by my mother-in-law and father-in-law. Seeing her so happy reaffirms my belief that getting a divorce was the right decision.